John
I've
Boy,
already done it, mate.
Alfonso, Unorthodox, Geek,
Load up obs.
X
Yeah,
Mark,
obs is made.
Lord Laney, Delore, Jay, Nick Navilla, Poopney, Vigla.
You're right.
Vigla. Still can't pronounce that
Sure.
one.
Maybe.
My bad.
God, I'm so proud.
Yeah. Discord.
You had a good race with Amazing Pie Boy, didn't you, Dad?
I did, because he dropped it.
That's heartbreaking.
Oh.
What happened with Green Pies last night, by the way? Was he racing Formula Renault?
No.
Please, babe. All right,
Why?
I got the opinion in the general chat that he was racing Formula Renault last night, or he was lagging somewhere or something.
Cheers, mate.
Well, when he races in Formula Renault, he's fucking shit!
I was reading through some of the general chat last night. General twat. I was...
It might as well be.
Right.
It might as well be.
One of them days. I was reading through the general chat, and I got the feeling like some people like Nicky and stuff trying to go at him saying, "Oh, if you don't put the practice in, you're not going to get better at Formula Renault. It's a very hard car to drive." And I'm thinking, is he Formula Renault? Is he? Is he lagging a bit? Because then he tagged me in something, which is why I was reading it, saying, "Oh, I've raced 5 laps with Matt Friday night and everything was fine." I'm like, whoa, don't go fucking dragging me into shit.
The problem is the Green Pies were suggesting, put damage on and it will soon sort out the issue of people crashing into each other. But it won't.
Right.
Because on F1, when you get damage, it depends how hard you hit the car.
Project Cars is very different to F1 with its damage. You can tap something and your wheel will fall off.
Exactly.
Do you know what I mean? So.
And the thing about the setup in Project Cars as well, the Formula Renault is such a different animal anyway.
Yeah.
So
right. I'm just gonna take a quick talk.
I like it. I don't think it's difficult.
Yeah, no worries.
I like it.
Oh, nearly streamed on Motive then when I didn't want to. I need to switch accounts. I don't like doing this.
Just be like, oh yeah, our touring car stream tonight will be from the perspective of unorthodox.
Oh god.
Yeah, so I'll be spinning left, right, and centre then.
Pressure's on.
I think they did 42 laps in the main race. In
Tier 2.
Tier 2, yeah. You did 42, didn't you?
I believe so, somewhere around that. I fueled for 50, and that was well done, wasn't it? Considering a couple of people ran out of fuel.
Yeah, Ben Parkey ran out of fuel. Ugbar was nearly low
I
on
had 2
fuel.
places on that. 2 places on that running out of fuel. Thank you very much.
That was funny.
I actually had, for once, a consistent race where I run wide once, but I didn't spin, I didn't run off track, and I didn't get a slowdown. I got slowed down, but I didn't get a penalty at all, the whole race.
Well done.
Consistency. That's why, and that's why I got 2 places on consistency.
You had Ugbar up your ass for a minute, didn't you?
Oh, Ugbar fucking went right past me. He was gaining, and then I run wide, so he caught me up, and then he just fucking destroyed me. Amazing.
I think he was lapping 1.7 in the lap faster than
He just pulled away because he had a 6-second penalty, and I'm trying to stay within the 6 seconds. And he was just pulling away and away. I couldn't keep with him. Amazing Pie Boy.
He messaged me before. He messaged me before saying he'd done a 46.8 before he joined in the session. So he had the pace. He just did his usual getting crushed in the first corner. Yeah,
Amazing Pie Boy. It took him about 4 laps to overtake me. He kept going for the inside on the slow hairpin, and just it took him about 4 laps to get down the inside of me and get round. But Ugbar just destroyed me as soon as he came along.
Yeah. Right, I need to just double check I've got the setup right. Tier 1 info. It's the first race. It's like Cloud. Yeah, I've got the same for everything. Fucking don't have to change it. Time is different though.
Oh, shut. Turn that shit off. Fuck yeah.
Yeah,
God, who's that Muppet?
That was me.
don't have to change it.
Yeah, I knew that.
Right, that's all set correctly. Nope, I've done that wrong actually. Moron.
Tell that one as well. Tell that's family.
Yeah, but that one's got Gary. Like proper.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
See, you can tell.
You had four wins last season, Andy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Fun fact,
What
yeah, he had
position
4 wins.
What I know. What position did you end up in the championship?
Fuck it.
You have the standings there, mate.
Way down fifth.
Yeah, I didn't print the standings out.
Oh, Kelly,
I was
one
fifth.
fucking job.
The one thing that Matt only asked for was last year's championship standings and also the current
He's just
standings.
come
That's
out
all
with a
Matt has
stat on
asked
how many
for.
wins I got. That's all he came out with.
Actually, what I asked for was the point system and who was entered. That's all I asked for. Last season is old news. Doesn't matter.
Yeah, I only wanted the point system. I don't remember ever
yeah.
asking for last year's champion.
Last season is an indication of future form.
Yeah,
I
maybe
meant,
so.
Yeah.
But I didn't want it.
Well, you got the point. You got the point system.
Yeah.
You got who finished where last season.
Yeah.
You got a little bit of fun facts.
Yep.
There you go.
Yeah,
Alright.
I printed out 7 pages of crap that you sent me.
Those poor fucking trees.
Poor trees.
Turn that shit off.
Who else are we missing?
You got to worry about Fury, haven't you? His inspirational quote: "Living his life a quarter mile at a time." Quote Vin Diesel.
Alfonso isn't here.
He never put that.
He did. He genuinely did.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah. Quote Vin Diesel. My God, I think the most intelligent thing Vin Diesel ever said was, "I am Groot."
I saw DJ
Greek.
Phil's one. That one made me laugh.
What was that?
He put something the other day in. Oh, what was it in?
Might be drivers.
What are we waiting for? Haha, just got the shopping put away in time, lol.
Who said that? Gary.
Gary.
He said,
Lucky.
tell him we're starting at 8:15. That's the new time bracket.
Oh, let's put some music on so the viewers can enjoy it.
Oh yes, please. I don't think I'm on the right stream, to be honest.
No, it's not started yet.
Yeah.
Right, here we go. Oh no, fuck, I need to put the stream key in. Bollocks!
The Cupra gets unveiled tomorrow, Kelly.
Sorry.
The Cupra gets unveiled tomorrow. The T-Mod Cupra.
Excellent. That's going to be the car. Do like a Cupra.
Andy needs to change car as well. Haha.
Oops.
See,
Do I?
Dan has swapped to the BMW
Oh
too.
no, why am I in the BMW? Fuck yeah.
Come on, lad, get involved. Drive the Beamer.
Don't
like
do
a
that,
mess.
man. No idiot. No, only a fucking idiot would drive a Beamer.
You watch, boys. I'm going to put it on pole position.
Oh, you got the pretty one, the white one with the yellow and red stripe in. At least you'll look good.
In the old German colours.
Mate,
This
where
one,
the
sorry?
fuck?
Why am I
is
looking
this
off? Why am I
very
looking on
confusing?
Facebook for what DJ Phil put yesterday? Jamie told me about it. Where is it? Driver introduction.
Might be that.
DJ Phil Green. He put game name DJ Phil Green. My real name is Philip James. My age is 35 years old. The UK I am from. My car number is 6D McLaren. 6D for some reason, not 60. And Clio spelt with an E. Corp 25 car. I am a radio DJ on my online radio station called Radio Seren. You can get to the website, blah blah blah.
Right, looks like the Greek and Alfonso are going to miss out. And I've sent Emo Guy a message. Hey, an invite.
He loves playing Formula 1 on a Friday night on Motivating Channel.
Yeah, man.
And I have
Where's all that? You're reading all that from?
on the driver introduction on Discord, and then he put, and I have
right.
signed up for the Pentrant. I presume he's on about Patreon, but he signed up
Yeah.
for the Pentrant service today, and I like the commentators. Andy, who commentates, is absolutely good at what he does. 10 out of 10.
Yeah.
Fuck you, DJ Phil.
Fuck you, DJ. Fucking next time I see him on track, he's going off the fucking side.
Yeah. Fuck DJ
I think
Phil.
I think he got lapped 3 times tonight.
I went past him twice.
Fucking hell, he's had a bad night. No offence, Kelly.
Fuck you, man. Prick.
Don't be like that. It's already started there, this is it.
Did you say you were going British Grand Prix, Matt?
Yeah, I've got a ticket from my dad for Christmas. Not last year, year before. So yeah, hopefully.
You camping?
No,
Right,
no,
you guys
God,
ready?
No, just going for the Sunday. Yeah,
Looking, yeah, maybe. Yeah.
I'm camping at Donington for the weekend when I go there.
Yeah, well, I'm trying to.
Okay, Andy, you ready to go?
We're talking about Donington as well, and
Yes, get
trying
Donington.
to talk Dan into it.
I think loads of us are waiting from Simplay up to Donington.
Done. Give me a
Yeah,
couple
you're
of
good?
seconds. No, I'll be good. Give me a couple of seconds. I'll be good. One sec.
Right, just let me know and I'll hit start.
Get up Donny, Dan, with your dad. I think a load of us are going.
Dan,
Who's a load of us? Yourself?
Me, Gary, Manster, Keegs, Jamie.
Right there, I'm done. As soon as you said Keegs, I can kick his head in now.
is Sutty going?
Don't think so because it's close to his wedding anniversary.
Oh, what
'Cause
a
his wedding
shame.
anniversary is the same week as mine.
Tier 2 runner-ups.
We're good.
We're all
Right, you boys ready? Right,
Yep.
cool.
Yeah.
Andy, I'm gonna. I might jump in the game chat. All right.
Mate, yeah, cool. I'll do the same. Yeah, I'll do the same.
All right. Cool. Let's go. I'm gonna linger around first so that Matt and Dad are ready to go, but then I'll jump in game chat.
I'll stay in here and count you guys in. Actually,
Yep.
Oh, lovely, thank you.
that's all.
Oh, I better start streaming.
When you pick James up next Friday, just before I go live, while I'm remembering, go to reception, tell him on the Monday morning he'll be late because he's got dentist on the 22nd. I'll remind you again Friday. Remind me to remind you.
Well, I'll make some notes of that then.
You've got plenty of notes as it is, Kelly.
I have, yeah. Way
don't-
too many.
don't waste any
I
more
probably won't
paper.
even bother picking the clipboard up for the whole race.
It's too heavy to pick up, isn't it?
Yeah, it is a little bit, yeah. I'm not used to this reading as well stuff.
Alright, we're on, guys.
Good evening and welcome everyone to Touring Car. Touring Car is back on a Sunday night. Welcome, welcome. My name is Kelly Davis and I'm joined here in the commentary box with my very good friend Matthew Duffin. Good evening, Matt.
Evening, Kelly. How are we tonight?
Not too bad at all. And before we get all excited about the Touring Car Championship and we tell everybody out there what a fantastic time it's going to be, I'm sure you will join me and just dedicating this race this evening to Murray Walker, who we unfortunately lost over the weekend. Murray Walker passed away, an absolute legend in the sport. Anybody who knows anything about motor racing knows all about Murray Walker. He was an absolute legend. Died at 97 over the weekend. Our hearts go out to his family. He will be gravely missed within the motorsport community. And Matt, anything you'd like to say on that subject very quickly?
Just a man that I've grew up watching on the telly, whether it be YouTube or on the telly in the Formula 1 early 2000s. An inspiration to me into why I got into commentary, and now will be missed by many of people, not just in this country or in Britain, but across the world in the Formula 1 community. And touring cars, bikes, he pretty much dabbled in everything, and what a top legend. And I don't use the word legend that often, but he was one of the legends of there. And I tell you what, he's got such a grid to commentate on up in heaven now. What a lineup he's got to commentate on up there, because he'll be sorely missed.
He's probably having a chit chat with Ayrton as we speak. But yes, Murray Walker, rest in peace from all us here at Motive and from Simplay as well. There you go, that's our little tribute to Murray. Gravely missed. I'm sure we'll see plenty of it in the Formula 1 that's starting again in a couple of weeks' time. So anyway, as I said, Touring Car is back, baby. If you wanted thrills and spills, if you wanted more action and more controversy and drama than a Meghan Markle interview, well, you're in the right place, I'll tell you, because it's back. Touring Car. Does it get any better than Touring Car, Matt? For you and me? Does it get any better?
It genuinely doesn't get any better than the touring cars.
Any better.
I wish the game, Kelly, had more cars on their roster than just the 4 that they have, because let me tell you, if there was more choice, other than the Astra, the Megane, the BMW and the Mercedes, it would make the series even better. There's only 2 BMWs on the grid. The rest of them are pretty much Meganes, I do believe. Everybody else is in 4 to 9. But 13 of the Motive's best touring car drivers here in the Tier 1 category, and we are in for a cracking night of touring car action.
Yes, we are indeed. And the interesting thing, we've kind of badged this one as Mtcc. So that would be Motive British Touring Car Championship. So what we've done is our race coordinator, can we call him that? Our race coordinator for this one is Unorthodox, or Daniel as we know him. And he set us up a whole season of British Touring Car. This is season 7 now on Motive already, and this is an 8-round season, and mimicking the best we can do on the project cars of the British Touring Car Championship, which is arguably one of the best championships in the world in the
no doubt
real world of motor racing.
No doubt.
We're waiting for the day that some of the Formula One boys man up and have a go at something difficult like touring car. So this whole season 7, is dedicated to a British lineup. Let me quickly run you through that lineup. Round 1, we are here now, Brands Hatch Indy, which is normally I'll say the start of the British Touring Car Championship, but isn't this year, but normally is. Then we're going to go round 2 is at Donington Park, one of Matt's particular favourites, isn't it, Donny?
Home circuit, half an hour away from the circuit. And they're every year in Camping, obviously bar last year, unfortunately. Yeah, and I'm sure as heck going to be there this year. Cannot wait.
Yeah, and we were just talking off air, and I might just join you there, and we're trying to get down there and a few others. So if anybody else wants to turn up, come and have a drink, sit down, we'll chit chat, everything touring car. Round 3 is Silverstone Classic. Now the Classic, if you've driven the Classic thing, it's from whenever it was, 1950 or 1960.
Somewhere around that.
Yeah, somewhere around that. It is basically a very, very fast circuit with a couple of chicanes in it, which mimics Thruxton, which is, for my all intents and purposes, is my home track. I say home, it's still 3 hours from where I live, and 270 miles or whatever it is, but that would be the one that I go to regularly, and Daniel goes to regularly, so that replaces Thruxton, or is pretending to be for Thruxton for round 3.
It is very much Kelly as well, a like for like. Very much similarities in the Silverstone Classic circuit on the Project Cars game to Thruxton. So it's a fast circuit. It's got the chicane at the end like Thruxton has. It's got a few corners, tricky corners at the beginning like Thruxton has as well. So it is pretty much a like for like circuit, hence why Dan has decided to select that one in there as a Thruxton replacement.
Yes, absolutely. So that's looking forward to. That'll be round 3. Round 4 is Orton Park Island, which is as is on the Touring Car Championship. Round 5 will be Silverstone International, which I don't know why Daniel's doing that one, but we haven't got all the tracks, so we might as well. Round 6 is Snetterton 300, which I've got a new love for after last season. I really kind of got in the groove with Snetterton, so we're looking forward to that. Silverstone National for round 7, and Brands Hatch GP for round 8, which is obviously this track but the full GP version, again mimicking what British Touring Car do, the way they do it with the GP at the end of their season.
I think Dan's got the international Silverstone to replace Croft, which is isn't on their game, so I think that's why Dan's got both Silverstones. I know the touring cars last year was meant to originally run both layouts of Silverstone, but unfortunately due to COVID then got rid of it, because I know this year we're going to Thruxton twice in the real world, whereas last year I think it was meant to do both layouts of Thruxton. Obviously Croft not on the game, so he's probably got that in there in place of Croft.
Well, the other one I was going to give an honourable mention to, as it were. As we see one of the Beamers go round. There's got to be Gary, because Dan was in a white one, and there's only 2 Beamers on the track. The mention that we want to give to is those of you who play the game, Knock Hill is actually on the game, and British Touring Car go there every year. One of the most exciting rounds is Knock Hill, the Scottish track, which is very, very short and usually changeable in the conditions. Unfortunately, the format of Project Cars means we can't get enough cars on the grid to go there to run a championship. So
Knockhill basically runs 12 cars maximum. Obviously, the online lobbies allow you to run 16 cars. For some strange reason, they only allowed Knockhill to run 12, even though you can get 31 real touring cars around the circuit. The game thought they'd only put 12 in on the game, which is a shame, because Knockhill, like you say, can be one of the most entertaining touring car races, especially being it north of the border here in Britain. Up in Scotland, it normally tends to rain and add that bit more excitement to Knockhill. It is a shame that we can't race there, but as is the beings that we have in front of us in the virtual world, it's something that we have to put up with.
Absolutely, and yes indeed. So we're nearly at the end of this session. The format for this normally will be a 10-minute practice at this time, and then a sprint race, which will go on a reverse grid order of championship. As we are the first race of the season, this becomes a qualifying session, as I believe, and the man in the pound seats here is our very own Andy from Motive, who's been doing some practice just before we came on, and is absolutely flying with a 46.6.
And Kelly, I want to bring your attention to the top 12 separated. Sorry, in fact, all 13 of them, just over a second, separating the grid at the minute. And this is why, for those who don't watch the British touring cars, why me and Kelly love the British touring cars so much. There's 20 odd cars in the British Touring Car Championship, and at times the top 20 can be separated by a second. We've got the top 13 separated by a second here, and this is what makes it so entertaining. Yes, Andy's on pole by 0.04 of a second from Laney, who's done an absolute stellar job, but Gary in 12, 8 tenths off the back, in fact even 13th, POE. I don't know, obviously new boy to the season this year.
It's Pootney, he's moved up to Tier 2.
There we go then, Pootney moved up from Tier 2, only a second off the pace. Anybody can win this race. This is the love of the touring cars. You cannot predict who's going to win it, especially early doors in the season. Two men I want to give a massive shout to, and if Gary's qualifying P12, where's Dan? Dan's P10. Watch for them BMWs off the line. They are like a rocket ship.
Yes, indeed. And just as you said, Daniel running the BMW, so switching from the front-wheel drive Megane to the rear-wheel drive BMW. It's well known to be a handful, the BMW. So Daniel's going to try his hand at this. He's also Daniel's been round and got some facts about some of the drivers, like a bit of a rundown, some Q&A with the drivers. And in his own one, he's got his eyes on a championship win. So not only has he moved to the BMW, he's also got it in his head that he could win this one. So let's see how that pans out for him throughout the season in that BMW. He's picked a nice livery. I love that livery, I really do.
I must say that there's a nice orange that reminds me of the Halfords orange from back in the 05-06 on the BMW.
Halfords one,
that I kind of like, and I kind of wish that one was on there. But no, good qualifying from Andy though. He improved a bit more towards the end of that one. He ended up a 10th quicker than Laney. Delore just a 10th back as well. So them three really on the pace. In fact, everybody's on the pace. John Boy, obviously season 5 winner. P4 at the minute, Lauder down in P5, Nick the Villa in P6, Vliegurk in P7, X-Mark last year's winner, the defending champion, P8, Unorthodox, Dan Davis 9th, with Fury in P10, and then I think we saw Emo guys join, hopefully in time, WSRCJ in P11 with Gary 12th, and I missed 13th there.
It was Pootney. Is in.
Pootney P13.
Yep, so as I said, this is a sprint race, first one. We got 2 races for the tier 1s this evening, as will be every week. 25-minute sprint race.
20.
Sorry, what was that?
20-minute sprint race.
20-minute sprint race. The information that Daniel gave me is incorrect. 20-minute sprint race. And as I said, at the moment, this is off the back of the results of the session that we've just had. As we go on through the season, this race is started on reverse grid on championship order. So the man who's leading the championship will start from the back, and everyone in front of him in their order, if you understand what I mean. I'm sure you people
and so
do.
On and so forth. As the drivers ready up, Kelly's going to go through the chat. Evening to Team Prolapse. They say, hey Kelly, hey Matt. Fury's granddad, evening Kelly, evening Matt, good luck everyone. Fury massive in the building. Jamie Brazier, it doesn't get any better than when you see Matt Neal ram someone off. Yeah, we'll ignore that one. BT in the chat. All right, Kelly and Matt, looking forward to watching this. Good luck to all. Come on, you pro laps lads. Hey all, says Bethany Duffin. Laney flying at the moment. Good luck lads, says Team Pro Laps. Obviously Team Pro Lap members Laney and Xmart on the track, on the grid tonight. So what can Team Pro Laps do on the field? It was nice to see so many people in the chats already.
Yes, indeed. And as we said before, this is the best place to be. It doesn't get any better than touring cars in my book. You know, being a long-term Formula One fan, I still love touring car more. You know, so it's
so much action, so much drama, and that's what you get with touring car racing. Wheel to wheel, bumper to bumper.
Yeah, absolutely. And it looks like we're ready to go. The lights go down and away we go. And Andy with a reasonably even start. Laney close to him. Look like Laney's going to stick one down the inside. Has he got it nailed? He certainly has into turn one. He's down the inside of Andy as they come around this tricky dip of a corner here. And it's side by side for these two. But Laney's still got the inside line as they come round the right-hand hairpin. And reasonably clean from everyone else by the looks of things. A bit of pushing and shoving going on at the back. But they're still going wheel to wheel. Andy and Laney going door handle to door handle. John Boy in there as well. John Boy wanting to make up for last season. Nearly had that title. As we see Laney going very wide, goes across the tracks, takes what's he got? John Boy out with him. That's who he took. Absolutely. So those are going backwards. Delore up into second. He's come up from tier 2 and into second place. And then there's a little bit of a gap as we go backwards with that bit of pushing and shoving. And
Indeed,
the rest of the pack come across the line.
Indeed we do, and I got I made myself look like a bit of a fool. Dan and Gary only up a couple of places in 6th and 7th in the BMW, but already a good start. They come through Paddock Hill and down the dip up towards Druids Corner now. Dan all over the back of Lauder, and he's going to try to the outside. It's not going to work. If he can keep it there, we'll have the run down towards Graham Hill Bend, but he's lost that momentum through the corner. He's going to have the inside line on Gary 131, but Gary's managed to get that job done into Graham Hill, and Dan all across the grass there and cutting the corner just a bit. Yeah, that'll be a bit of a slowdown penalty for Dan there, so he'll have to yield the time. But Gary here, as they come through this tricky left-right section in towards Surtees for the final time in this second lap of this race. WSR's already got himself a time penalty, and Gary's picked up another place up into P5, but that's Laney who's got a good run on Gary up the inside, and that's Lauder trying to fight back with him. Laney up the inside of Gary as they come towards Paddock Hill for the third time in this one. Gary trying to get on the back of Fury, but Laney up the inside. Oh, he's a bit loose on the rear, and Gary has to let that one go. And Laney, look at him already setting himself up towards Druids for a move on Fury, but Fury easy to defend in Druids. He's ran himself deep though, and Laney's going to have a try and get a run down towards Graham Hill Bend. Yes, indeed. You said it was hard to defend, but Laney made the easy meet there of Fury. Went right round the inside, although he goes wide. Oh, he's gone very wide. At the bottom of the hill, he's going to have a slow down on that one for certain sure. So as Fury goes back up into fourth, as the leaders have checked out a little bit now, Delore and Andy of second and first, a couple of seconds ahead now of Xmart. We haven't talked too much about Xmart. There's more action going on than Xmart. We'll get off him, but he is the reigning champion. Doing really well in third place out on his own. Nice place to be. Just get his head down, get some points on the board. As we see all this lot going at it, you've got everybody in here, all having a crack at it. But Laney's got in front of Fury again. Laney with a time penalty. We'll have to have a look, see what that's about. Clearly he didn't slow down from my liking coming out the exit to Graham Hill Bend. He's all over that curve again, so that may be another one here. So Laney just trying to extend the track and not getting away with it. Fury causing a bit of a queue at the moment between him, Gary, Lauder, unorthodox, John Boy on the back of this queue as well. And Gary, he's trying to set up a move into Surtees there, but couldn't get that one done this time around, but he's really eyeing up Fury. Fury a bit wide at the exit to that corner, and Gary's going to try and look to make that run down towards Paddock Hill Bend. Can't get it done, like you said. Andy's already checked out, over a second in the lead. Andy doing absolute bits at the moment in towards Paddock Hill. Gary looking around the outside of Fury, and did they just touch a little bit there? Yeah, they did. Yeah, I think Lauder might have got up a little bit in the back of Gary and did a bit of pushing and shoving, just racing, I think. But Gary's all over the shop at the moment. He's now got Dan in the other BMW trying to go around the outside of him, which he's managing to make stick. It's incredibly hard to overtake on this track. As you can imagine, very short track.
You go offline, it's very slippery.
Oh, I think Dan's tapped Gary round. I think Dan's tapped Gary, and Gary's done very well to save that one there. Where's Dan? What's happened to Dan? Did Dan go off? I wonder if Dan's had a bit of a spin, and that's why he tapped Gary. He's lost a lot of time through tapping him there, coming through clearways and up onto Clark Curve. But Gary's done absolute brilliant bits there to keep that one pointing in the right direction. Lost a lot of time off the back of Fury, and I tell you what, Fury at the minute, for my liking, P6, but struggling out there so far, Kelly, because every guy keeps getting on the back of him, and then the drama's happening behind him. But Fury doing his job so far.
Yes, indeed, absolutely, and bit of a. And I know you're gonna probably roll your eyes at me, but I can't see you doing it. That's a bit of a Matt Neal type. I was going to say, let me finish. That's a Matt Neal favourite, that corner. He does tend to get right up on the curb and get himself down the inside on that corner without having to go at Matt Neal for
he tends to wait for the cars to drift out wide, doesn't he? The natural of way the cars sort of drift out wide through clearways into Clark Curve, and Matt Neal somehow has always managed to keep it tight through there and nick one up the inside, as Laney here really pushing on his Team ProLab teammate Xmart, the defending champion so far. Oh, they're leaning on each other a bit. Yeah, and Boss, yeah.
Yeah, and Boss, don't lean on him too hard, Laney. No. Not unless you want a P45 for your Monday breakfast. Laney, as you said, is the reigning champion. Xmart reigning champion. Laney gave him a great help of being his rear gunner in the last race of the season, in season 6, to help Xmart secure the season. No harm in that. Nothing.
Oh, what's happened to Gary?
Wrong.
Gary's dropped down to P12. Sorry, Kelly. Gary's dropped down to P12 and he's well off the back of the car. Oh, he's had a massive off somewhere. He's had a massive off.
That's the type of BMWs you normally see drifting around McDonald's car park. That one.
Yeah.
That's looking like a lot of a mess. I would have thought this is not the best track for the BMW. Not that I've taken the BMW out round here, but this is such a strange little track. This Brands, do you know what I mean? And so sensitive to being offline and going wide and whatever. That
there's not really many straights that the BMW can stretch its legs and use its real power out of the corners. Also, the corners aren't really bar druids. The corners aren't slow corners where the BMW can just get its power down and really use its traction on the rear to get out the corner and extend or get a good run through the corner. Bar druids, but again, out of druids down to Graham Hill, it's a very short run, and by the time Gary gets that momentum, he's back on the brakes for Graham Hill, and like you say, you run out a little wide at Brands Hatch here, and it will hurt you. Vliegek on the back of Fury. Oh, that's a bit of a twitch coming through Paddock Hill as they dip down through Paddock Hill for the ninth time in this one. And Vliegek just putting Fury under pressure. And Fury just keeps coming under pressure from people behind at this stage of the race. But then they seem to make mistakes behind that allows him to have a bit of breathing space. We've also got Nick Navilla, Unorthodox, and John Boy all trying to gain back on the back of Fury in this one so far. After that, Gary WSR and 11th place. I'll remember his name eventually.
Putney.
11. Putney. Started to fall off the back of this pack, and they are really starting to struggle here. Andy, though, out front, we've not seen much of Andy and Glory because they have checked out and gone in this one, and Andy just cruising at the moment.
Yes, indeed, and Delory comes up from Tier 2 in this one, as does Laney, your man in third. He's got past Xmart. He did a bit of the last season.
Sort of came in halfway through, didn't he?
Yeah, this is his full season in touring cars, so we're expecting to see good things from him. Vigla is also gone up to Tier 2. That's Delore's brother. They're brothers from... I've got my notes here somewhere, but it means I've got to find my clipboard again. And I'm so busy watching the action that I can't read the clipboard. So we'll come back to that.
While you're looking for that one, Vliegek's had a run on Fury, but again through Clark Curves, Fury has got a good run up the inside, and Vliegek now coming under a bit of pressure from Nick Navilla just behind. He's going to try and go around the outside of Paddock Hill. That isn't going to work. You're going to run off onto the AstroTurf. Does well not to do it, but he's again on the outside into Druid's corner, and the longer way around isn't the best way around, because look at that, Nick Navilla straight up the inside. A bit of bashing does. Oh, and Vliegek well off. Oh, passes the barrier and just touches John Boy, but to no great effect. And I tell you what, that could have been a lot worse than what it was if Vliegek could have bounced onto the middle of the circuit there.
Absolutely.
But that is allowed Dan to get a good run on Vliegek then. Although Vliegek, he's got the rear of that car. Yeah, the rear of Liger's car, he's chucking it in that McGann into the corners, and it is not working for him. And Dan then picks up another place. Nick Navilla has a time penalty just in front of these, but again, Fury doing his job, defending his line as best he can, and the guys behind him just making the silly mistakes that's costing them the places.
Yes, indeed, and I mean, that was a bit of a nudge and a push there as well. John Boy giving Nick Navilla a bit of a tap. These two. I know they weren't in Tier 2 together. Nick Navilla was in Tier 2 last year. He's another one that's gone up for this year. All these guys, this is your biggest fight on track, really, from Nick Navilla up to Fury, really. As these guys are your biggest battle. Now, I've just done Tier 2 in these, and I'll tell you that the tyres will be suffering already on these McGanns.
Oh, yeah.
With 13 laps.
Vliga, did he just tap Dan there?
He did give him a little tap, that's for certain sure. Vliga kind of worrying, struggling to know where the corners of his car is today, by the looks of it. Him and his brother from Belgium, Dolores' brother, they're both from Belgium, and Vliga does like to be called Fly for some reason, and no doubt we will a bit throughout the season, but he's still on the back of Daniel, and they're still all on the back of Fury. Fury's playing the Yarno Truly and being a mobile chicane today, but chicane on Brands Hatch is really difficult to get round, as we spoke about earlier. I wonder, and Dan's gone right into the back of John Boy. Did he brake check him? That kind of happened really quickly and from nowhere, don't you think, Matt?
It did kind of happen from nowhere. That it was a bit of a strange one for me, and Dan seemed to get very massively caught out there. But again, where has John Boy dropped to? John Boy's dropped down behind Putney now, so Putney down up into P10. John Boy down to 11th, and he's only 2 seconds ahead of Gary 131. But a real strange one. Yeah, real strange one. Yeah. Surtees isn't a heavy braking zone where that happened. You know, you come off the Cooper straight in Surtees. It's not a heavy braking zone. In fact, it's more of a lift than a braking zone.
And very rarely we see Dan do anything like that anyway, is it?
And one thing we've seen, and obviously you commentate with myself over at Simplay, when Dan's had a bit of trouble, he's always been one to give the place back when he may feel like it's his fault. As Vliga Kia applying massive amounts of pressure to Fury then, and he's looking all over. You see a lot of locking up coming into Clearways then. Laney, Lodder, Vliga, Nick Navilla and WSR all on time penalties at the moment. We don't know what they are until the end of the race. 8.5 minutes left. We're crossing the line to start lap 15, these guys are, and Fury still, Kelly, doing a fantastic job of hanging on to P6.
Yeah, let's have a look. There we go.
Oh, there we go. Nick Navilla, massive penalty, 9 seconds.
Yeah, Nick Navilla, 9-second penalty. Laney, 2 seconds. Lauder, couple of seconds. Jay at the back with a 5-second. But Nick Navilla's got. No, I don't want to do that. Let's get rid of the timings. There we go. Fury driving well this evening. Fury is a quick young lad, but he struggles with consistency.
He's being pushed here.
He held on to that there. He was being pushed a little bit, and he just held on to it. Fury
Look who's got the run.
Fury driving really nicely this evening. Dan's right in there, isn't he?
Dan's right in there. Fury Kelly doesn't seem like he's got the outright pace here to pull away from these guys, but he's doing a cracking job at defending. Brands Hatch Indy, very much an easy circuit to defend. You've not kind of got a corner where if I defend the inside here, they can get the cut back on the next one. There's not really them kind of corners around Brands Hatch Indy. It is mainly if you can defend well, and you can defend well consistently, you'll manage to hang on to that spot. And Fury's done that for about 15 laps off of these boys behind him. You know, massive trade. Although Vliga looks to have a cutback out of McLaren into Clearways, but the problem is it tightens up so much, does Clearways, that you've actually got to brake a bit more than what you feel like you have. It's so open to start with, and then just as you get around Clearways into Clark Curve, it really tightens up.
Yeah, Fury with a bit of mistake there, and goes right and into the wall, but he's still on the inside. As Dan and Nick Navilla get back into this battle, as Fury held Fly up a little bit there. Daniel trying to go around the outside. How many times in British Touring Car have we seen someone get on the outside there and people just
And the problem is when you go on the outside there, Kelly, if you're in a train of cars like this, the minute you go to the outside, you're being overtaken into Graham Hill Bend unless you can keep it round the outside and keep it planted. As Vliga, it looks like he's got the job done through Surtees into McLaren. He's got to keep it off that gravel because that gravel will hurt you. Dan looks like he's got to run. All Fury snatching the nose off of Dan and saying, no you don't mate, I'm not letting you through. But Vliga's got through after time and time of trying. Vliga's now done it, and now can he start to build a gap from Fury? But Dan tried it there and Fury absolutely snatched his nose off. Vliga wide into the gravel, and all his hard work laps behind Fury has now been put back to reset, automatically done. One mistake in the gravel and he's got to do it all again.
So easily done, especially there. It's such a crazy
it's so bumpy through Paddock. It's so bumpy through Paddock Hill, isn't it? That the minute, and if you hit the curb hard, it will really bounce you wide, and you naturally find yourself going wide anyway. But if you hit that curb hard round Paddock Hill Bend, you really find yourself heading towards that gravel, and the minute you hit that gravel, you're either losing the rear of the car or you're just finding it so sluggish to get out of. As Dan, he's going to try and look around the outside of Fury into Paddock Hill Bend. You also don't want to take too much of this AstroTurf, Kelly, as it will give you a slowdown penalty.
Yes, indeed, you're right on all levels there. It is a unique little bit of circuit there. I don't think there's anything like that in the world, like Paddock Hill Bend. It's crazy, and I just remembered. I'm remembering Colin Turkington spinning that round. Was that last season? Spinning round in there, it was, wasn't it?
And somehow managed to get avoided by everybody.
Yes, that was. I was just going to say that was a potentially a crazy accident, but
do you remember? Rob Austin the other year in the Wicks car, I can't remember what it was. Big shunt up into Druids. Big shunt. Right. Really totaled the car in the reverse grid race. But as Dan here looking for on the outside round Paddock Hill Bend, and the problem is he's not going to do it because he's going to find himself going over that curve. And an incident in the background. That was Vliga and Nick de Villa. Now Dan using that traction of the BMW, but he's on the outside. If Fury can keep it there, he's got to keep it pinned. He's got to keep a nose up the inside towards Graham Hill Bend. He's done just that. Driving from Dan round the outside at Druids. Fury's ran deep, and this is allowing John Boy to have a look, and John Boy running Fury out wide onto that AstroTurf, but Fury's going to look back at him. No, John Boy shuts the door, and an epic battle here, which Fury's lost out to Nick de Villa now. So Fury in one lap. Dan's really unsettled Fury there, because Dan getting past has led to Nick de Villa and John Boy getting through as well. Yes, indeed, and we'll just come off this battle very, very quickly, because Delore has caught Andy. I don't know if Andy had a bit of a moment or what. They're lapping in the 46.9s, but I don't know if there was a couple of second gap. But Delore is all over the back of Andy now for the race win, within a tenth or so, and he's going to the outside. He's trying to get round him as he goes a little bit sideways. But Delore definitely back on the back of Andy. Andy will be looking in his mirrors. The tyres will be shot already. They'll be screaming. Absolutely shot. They'll be screaming. Just to say, Andy's got a time penalty there, Kelly. Yes, he has. 2 seconds. No, sorry. Yeah, 2 seconds. Yes, you're right. It is 2 seconds. So Andy with a time penalty. Delore all over him. Not only has he got a clear Delore now, he's got to put a couple of seconds between him. So I think if you're Delore though, Kelly, you see that Laney's gaining behind you. He was about 7/10 quicker last lap. There's still a bit of time left in this race, and for me, Delore's got to get past Andy, although he can sit behind him with his 2 safe. In fact, actually no, because Laney's got a 2-second penalty himself, so Delore is just got to stay with them, and that'll be that job done in terms of that battle. Fury here down in P9. Vliga can put Nate all over the back of him, and I think for Fury, he's got to get back in a rhythm. Has he got the pace to get back in front? Maybe not. His last lap of 48 for the guys in front with 47s. Barnick de Villa 54.3. That to me then would say that he's got even more time penalties, because I know the time penalties add to your racing time at the end of your lap as well as at the end of the race, so it makes your lap time look like worse than what it is. So for me, Nick de Villa to do a 54 without losing too many places suggests that he's got even more time penalties. But Fury here has got to get on the back of this pack, and can he keep with them and get back in front of them? Dan's checked out from this pack though. Dan's gone. Yes.
He has definitely checked out from this pack. And we're only 1 minute 30 left in this sprint race. And Delore is now 1.3 behind Andy. So Andy has got to make at least a 2-second gap if he wants to win this one.
Look at Vliegek, he got a good run coming through Clearways there and through the Clark curve, just rubbing with Fury a little bit, and he's got that inside line, more importantly, coming over the start line down towards Paddock Hill Bend. They lean on each other again, but Vliegek, after all his troubles in this race of not being able to get past Fury, has now managed to get up the inside and got it done. Has he this time round? Yes, he has. Moved on. Fury on the wrong side of him here, and I tell you what, he needed to be up that inside but can't get it done. Now he's going to look to Graham Hill again. He's trying to get the cut back on the inside, the exit to the corner, but it's the wrong side. Can he be the best of the low breakers into Graham Hill? No, he can't. And Vliegek, for me, has gone from Fury. Fury struggling for pace around this circuit. His great early defending has now come undone.
And Andy has Delore made a mistake while that was all going on and dropped back a couple of seconds. So Andy's pretty much got this one in the bag. I think he's going to have to go another lap on this one, because we've still got 28 seconds on the clock.
There'll be another lap.
But Delore has made a mistake and dropped back into the clutches of Laney, actually. I say clutches. He's within a second, but he's not.
Laney's got a 2-second penalty as well, don't forget, Kelly. So that one's
absolutely, you're
pretty
quite
much
right.
done.
Yeah.
Andy, surprisingly, is coming up to lap Gary. That was Gary, I do believe, in front of Andy, who he's coming up to lap. And you don't say that Gary gets lapped very often, but he's about to here. So struggling in race one tonight in the BMW. And for Andy, then, he's just got to have the cleanest lap. No more time penalties. You don't want to add another 2 seconds to your time. While Delore's within 4 seconds. If you just get everything right, hit your apexes, keep within the track limits, just take your time if you have to. You've got that 4-second buffer behind you, and Andy should have the first race win of the season.
Yes, indeed. It's all done, all but the huffing and puffing. So Andy comes around the last corner, down onto the start-finish straight. He's got a 2-second penalty. Don't slow down too much, Andy. Don't celebrate too much. Get it across the line, then celebrate. First win of the season goes to Andy. Puts him at the top of the championship. Delore
time
is
penalty
going to come second. He did get a time penalty at the end, you're right. With Laney in third, which is a good start for all of these. Good opening round for the championship. X-Smart reigning champion comes over the line in fourth. A little bit of a lonely one for him. Lauder is your man in fifth place. Dan brings it up to 6 in the first of the BMW runner. I don't
think he's going to hold on to that though, Kelly, because there's John Boy on the back of him and Dan's got a penalty, so I don't think Dan's going to keep hold of P6. He's going to drop to P7. If you ask me, some flashes like that. Yeah, he seems like a solid racer. John Boy 6th, Dan 7th. Vliegek ended up getting 8th over Nick Lavilla. Fury then jumps above Vliegek and Nick Lavilla, so 8th for Fury. Putney, Gary goes up to P9 in the end. So it all changed. Loads of time penalties for track limits at the end. Gary ended up taking P9. Popney gets P10. He only had 2 seconds. Vliegek had 8 seconds. Nick Lavilla had 17 seconds worth of penalties. And WSRCJ with 5 seconds worth of penalties finished a lap down on the rest, or on the leaders. So he finished P13.
Yes, indeed. That's race one done already. Oh, we said 2 or 3 things. You look round twice, and all of a sudden the race is over. So that's the first one. We'll be back shortly. The next we have got is the sprint race. So we'll have feature race. We'll have a 15-minute qualifying session before the feature race. Feature race will have a mandatory pit stop as well. So looking forward to all that. All good. How was the first one for you, Matt?
Fantastic racing from all the guys. Andy checked out early, a bit of pressure towards the end, but he managed to deal with that one. Great defending from Fury, top drive from Fury in that first race. He defended absolutely beautifully. Gary, work to do for race 2, but I tell you what, Lauder, John Boy, Pokney, Vliegek, Nick Lavilla, Fury, Demlot, what a battle they had.
Yes, indeed. I'm presuming we're going to have a break now. For a few minutes, and then we'll be back with the feature race very, very shortly.
Guys, hit that thumbs up button, like and subscribe to Motive Racing. 23 watching, 14 likes. Hit that thumbs up button. We'll be right back after a break.
Well, I think we're out. We've gone to a thumbnail.
Yeah, we're not out.
Guys, what did you make of the incident between me and Laney first lap?
Are we clear, Andy, first? Are we clear?
Yeah, we're clear, we're clear, we're clear.
I don't think we saw your incident between you and Laney. No, Laney and John Boy came together.
How many laps?
Was it John Boy? Oh, okay, cool. Because I know Laney was on my outside,
26.
and Laney ended up going off.
Laney went onto the grass and then came back across, and him and John Boy went off.
Yeah, I don't know if it was me that put him on the grass in the first place, though. Let me have a look.
I don't think that was you, Andy.
No way, that's right.
So that one, me and Laney were side by side for about 4 corners.
Yeah.
And then he ended up. There we go. Look, so I'm on the inside.
Dan, did you get brake checked? By Nick DeVille.
Yeah. By John Boy.
John Boy.
Not by John Boy. No, not John Boy. Fury.
Fury was defending heavily.
Yeah, Fury.
Right.
So 45 laps, 46 laps.
Did you tap Gary, by the way?
No, I never touched him.
Oh, he lost it on his own then. Oh, camera angle looked like you tapped him.
I thought I did. I let him go just to be safe. But
yeah, no, camera angle made it look like you tapped him from where the camera was, but now he lost it on his own then.
Didn't touch him. That wasn't too bad in the Beamer.
Yeah, he was alright, yeah. Did you, how were your tyres were your tyres holding up?
Oh, my tyres were lovely.
Oh, there you go, see, because the McGann, when I was in in the Tier 2, the McGann was wearing its tyres like 4 laps, and the front left was yellow.
John Boy did.
Yeah,
alright.
I had no overheating or nothing. Mine were.
My tyres were fine in them again.
Yours were fine, were they? Mine were
right,
well
back
over
in 2
half
seconds.
worn.
As just
Low tyre pressures.
Sorry, what?
Run low tyre pressures. Set them to 18 and it will be 22 on start.
Right, I remember that. Mine struggled terribly.
Yeah, I think as long as you've got them low to start off with, they're not going to get too difficult.
Right, lower tyre pressures. We'll have to remember that.
Just make sure there is no sound coming out. That's all good. Might put some music on for the viewers.
Right, where is John Boy? Where is John Boy? Come on, John Boy.
Oh, we going to be new lobby?
No.
No, same lobby.
Let's leave it on, turn it off. That makes sense. Just checking to make sure it's on.
Have I got time to have a slash before we start, Dan?
Andy?
Dan, has Kelly got a chance to go for a piss?
Yes.
I've got time for a slash, thank you.
Go. Stop talking to me and go. Andy, when's the pit window? Is it roughly a quarter into the race?
How many laps did we end up doing? I can't even remember.
I've already figured out how many laps we are going to do. I just need to know when the pit window is.
Well, tell me how many laps we're going to do and then I'll know.
46.
Pit window is lap 15.
15.
Yeah.
What's G told me?
We need to get Ian and
laps.
John Boy in. Ian joined midway through sprint and then through quali, but he was too late.
Right. Well, have you sent them an invite?
I'm sending Ian one now.
Right. John Boy's disconnected for some reason.
Did we be honest? Like, I'm not gonna obviously it's done now, but did you forget about Ian?
No, mate, I've sent him several invites. No.
Oh no! I mean, because he jumped in from ACC.
No, if he wants to do ACC and then jump to touring car, that's his problem, not mine.
Ah, okay, no, fair enough. That's cool. No, let's just check it.
I've not forgotten him. I've sent him a message on thing as well, saying that.
It's just a straight up question, mate. It's don't take it in any way other than what it is. It is.
Did he say anything?
No.
He did, didn't he?
No, he didn't. He hasn't. I saw him join during qualifying. I immediately thought, oh, Ian's going to be upset. That's why I'm asking.
I sent him an invite. We can't just wait for him.
I know.
No, fuck him. Stay on time.
I know. You're right. I'm not arguing.
Where is he?
Who is it? Who are we talking about?
Emo guy.
Yeah.
Emo guy. Well, he knows better than anybody.
Mm.
Right. Pit window is that 15. Right.
That 15.
Mm-hmm.
I'll write that on my clipboard.
Right, you guys ready to go?
I'm ready.
Yeah, ready.
I think Matt's put his fish fingers away.
Right, no problem. So he'll jump back in when you're ready. Andy, you good to go with the stream?
I'm good to roll, yep.
I've sent Ian an invite. Right, let's do this.
We've covered ourselves, that's all good.
Alright, I'll leave you guys to queue yourselves in, and I'm going back to game chat.
I'll give you guys a green light.
Thank you.
Yep, you're in, mate.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to Mtcc Motive British Touring Car Championship here on Motive Racing. My name's Kelly Davis. I'm joined by Matt Duffin, who I think's gone and put his fish fingers away just as we're speaking at the moment. He'll be with us very, very shortly. Welcome back, those of you who have been watching on the stream this evening. 14 people watching. Just say hello to me to stop me getting lonely. Why Matt's not here in the commentary box. Just on the chat, say hi, Kelly, just to let me know that you're listening. We've had race 1 already here at Brands Hatch. Brands Hatch Indy is where we are for the first round of the season. If you didn't listen to the first race, if you just tuned in, this year Motive's season 7 of the British Touring Car Championship is mimicking the British Touring Car Championship, with all the tracks for this season are the British tracks. I also believe we've got some British weather as well. It's going to join us throughout the season, so some good old British weather. So you know what that means, really. What that means is there's going to be some rain at some point. So as I said, if you're watching, tuning in, whatever, give us a like, give us a hi on the chat. That'd be really nice, just to let us know that you're there. So where are we? Let's have a look. Who we're looking at the moment? We're looking at X-Mart. He is the season 6 champion and reigning touring car champion. Martin, who comes and does a bit of commentary with us, joins me with the Renault Clios on a Tuesday evening. Now, Unauthored Dubs, Daniel is our race coordinator. It was. He set this whole championship up. And what he's done is he's gone through and he's got some, I don't know, like a synopsis, is it? Or maybe? Is that the right word? of different drivers. So a little bit of fun facts about them, so on and so forth. So with X Martin is the man that we're looking at, and real name's Martin, and he's 50-year-old, bless him. What a great place to be. From Herefordshire, and some fun facts about him. He speaks 3 languages, loves to travel. Before COVID, he's flown over 200,000 miles, which is a fun fact, isn't it? He's hoping to replicate his championship win in season 6. So he's on track and putting the times in. At the moment, Delore is your quickest man on a 46.8. Again, if you tuned in and watched all of tonight's action, you'll know that these guys were separated by less than a second at the end of qualifying for the sprint race this evening. The race that we're going into now is the feature race, which is a little bit longer than the sprint race. I think we're going to work out about 46 laps around this Brands Indy track. There is a mandatory pit stop. They don't have to do anything in the pit stop, but they do have to come in. So they don't have to change tyres, don't have to refuel, but they do have to come in and make a mandatory pit stop. That's for everyone, and I believe pit window opens at lap 15. So Delore is your man, fastest on track at the moment. This evening so far, Andy's been man with the pace. He was the man put it on pole and took the win in race 1, so we'll see how he gets on. Just about everybody is driving the Renault Megane this evening, as that is the touring car of choice, apart from Gary 131, who returns again in the BMW. He's a big fan of the BMW, wearing the Pirelli livery this evening. And on the dubs, Daniel is your man who's racing in the other BMW, who's already smashed it up by the looks of it. It looks like he's already had a bit of an off with that, as he's made it about 3 inches shorter than your standard BMW. He's the other man in the BMW. Now, the BMWs are a bit more of a handful to drive than the Meganes. To be fair, the Meganes are enough of a handful. All the touring cars on this platform of project cars are hard work to handle. They don't, the Meganes don't ever kind of warm their tyres up properly, and the back end is always loose, and the BMWs are generally loose, and I've found that they don't turn in quite as well as the Meganes. So 2 drivers in the BMW. Dan's second place at the moment, but he's in the 47s, and I expect the times to tumble down a little bit more than that. As always, we see Daniel have a bit of a spin. No real harm done, just lost it there, taking it back to the garage so they can put some new tyres on it. Who's out and about? Laney is also struggling with the back end of that Megane, as you see. Takes about 2 laps to get the tyres, the front tyres up to temperature. About another 2 to wear them out. Tyres are critical around here. As Laney goes second, only 2 100ths off Delore's time of with a 46.8. We saw a 46.6 or 46.3. I'm sure when Matt gets back, he'll remember, because he's better on that kind of stuff. You're back, are you?
Yeah, I'm here.
You got all the fish fingers put away?
Shopping's away.
Shopping's away. There we go. All the shopping's away. So all the little cherubs in the house are happy because there's food in the house again. I was just saying, Matt, what was the ultimate time in the first qualifying? Do you remember? Was it 46.6?
I can't remember, but let me go back and take a little look.
Right, I'll let you do that. As you see, Laney coming round for another lap and goes faster. He's now in the 46.6s.
And he took pole with a 46.5.
46.5. So we're getting around that kind of place again in the mid 46s. Laney, the first man to get towards the mid 46s. Only him and Delore, who are in the 46s at all at the moment. Daniel's the next fastest, with Gary. So
the BMW's up there in this qualifying session, Kelly, 3rd and 4th at the moment.
Yes, indeed, Matt. But I feel that those times are going to tumble, don't you?
I do have a feeling that the more the track goes in, the times are going to come down, as we've got 8 minutes left in this session. And with it being 46 seconds a lap, there's still plenty of laps where these Meganes can get up to speed.
Yes, Excuse me, I was just adding a drink and it was a little bit more stronger than I thought it was going to be. In the chat, yeah, hello Kelly, thank you. At least Nikki's done it. Yeah, thank you for Prolapse for their sending me a contract this week. I am reviewing it currently. Yes, I'm currently reviewing it and just seeing what else is on the table really, before I commit to it. But thank you, Prolapse, for the contract. Me and Dan are having a chat about our position within the sim world. Do you know what I mean? And where we want to go next. So yeah, thank you for that. As Andy now makes an appearance in the top 3.
Already we're seeing them times coming down. Look, Vliga and Andy up into 3rd and 4th, knocking Dan. Xmark split Dan and Gary, so knocking Dan and Gary down a couple of places, and then Gary ultimately, with Xmark going quicker than him, dropping to 7th place. So we need to see the BMWs maybe start to do something here. But like we said in race 1, Kelly, not really a track for the BMWs. It can't. The corners aren't slow enough for it to get its traction out the exit of the corner and get away from the opposition. As John Boy's gone into P5, knocking, and now Nick the Villa's gone into P6. So Dan and Gary down to 7th and 9th here.
Yeah, as I said, I thought it would tumble, and I thought these Beamers would struggle. As we said in a sprint race, it's not a BMW track. When we get to the end of the season, it's the GP track. That might be a little bit more favourable with the long straights and the fast corners at the end of the GP. But really, it's not too suited for them. We've got Donington is round 2, and then Silverstone Classic brackets Thruxton. Certainly the Beamers should be a little bit stronger there, which is a bit more of a power track. But we'll see. We'll see how the season progresses and how these guys get on. Interesting fact: Andy was he's the man with form today. He was quickest in the first session and won the race. He won 4 races last season, but couldn't manage to put a championship together. So he's quite miffed about that. So I think he's going to be on a charge. I think he wants this. He wants this championship under his belt,
Yeah, one of the drivers that wants it, obviously not won it in the past couple of seasons, yet he keeps getting the race wins and is obviously not stringing the championship together and wants that title. Dan will be looking for it, especially the fact that he's able to put a BTCC grid together, or calendar together. Gary, I know how much Gary loves his BMW and loves the British circuit, so Gary will be another one fighting off with the rest of the guys on this grid. For me, though, Laney looks the guy to beat this season. I know Andy took a great win, but Laney obviously had his mistake in race 1 with John Boy. Without that mistake, could we have seen a different race 1? But these things happen in the virtual world and in motor racing of the real world as well. And you've got to capitalise on every opportunity you get. And again, testament to all 13 drivers, a second covers them once again.
Yes, indeed, and of course it is a short track here, with a 46 second lap, but not taking that away from any of them. As you say, the whole field, just about a second between the whole field. Yeah. And if you lined them all up on the start straight, that would be very, very close, wouldn't it? Very close indeed. So that's the kind of gap margins that we're looking at here, which is very similar to professional motorsport. These guys take this very seriously. They drive sensibly. They want to win. As I said, we talked about Andy. He wants a championship. Daniel's been unorthodox. Dubs has been as we see him take a Turkington there. Well done. Yeah. Not too much harm done. Probably only to that cone. But we heard Daniel spouting off before the first race, saying that he wants a championship. He wants this championship. I'm sure Xmark wants to keep it. I'm sure Gary wants to have a crack at it.
I'm sure John Boy wants it back.
John Boy wants it back. He got close to it last season as well. Yeah. He was season 4?
Season 5.
Season 5. Missed out on season 6 only just. As we see Daniel having another opportunity to explore the limits, which he's doing, and why not? He's already ruined this lap, so he might as well.
Look at that time from Andy, 1,000th of a second separating him and Laney. I mean,
yes, indeed.
The timing is a 46.656, a 46.658. That to me is 2,000th of a second, but I'm not going to argue with Project Cars. We know how accurate it is.
Yeah, well, yes, indeed. Of course it is on every level. Don't get us started. I
say that, and then Delore, yeah.
Yes.
And all of a sudden, look, Andy's now 0.02 of a second slower than Laney all of a sudden as well, not the 1,000th from the last lap. Strange,
yeah, funny how that's just changed. Yeah.
Fixed itself because Delore's gone pole, and we're into the 46.5s now as well, Kelly. The pole lap from last time around, it was a 46.517, I think it said. So still not as quick as Andy's first pole lap in the sprint race qualifying. But Delore certainly still good enough for second place in that one.
Yes, indeed. Certainly some quick lap times coming in. Delore's your man now, fastest. I was going to say, do you reckon we're going to be talking about these kind of guys most of the season? Andy, Laney, Delore. I think it's going to be, I
think it's going to vary on the circuits. I think when we look at next week at Donington Park, it's a track that is kind of suited to both the BMW as well as the Megane. A lot of sharper corners where the traction out the corner will be key for that BMW. The likes of McLean's and Coppice, the chicane, for example. The first half of the track, old hairpin, the crane of curves, very much Megane friendly. So next week I think we could have a bit more of a closer running with these Meganes and the two BMW drivers of Unorthodox and Gary. Unorthodox P6, Gary 10th. Again, like you said, Silverstone Classic, more of a thruction track where power may come into it for the BMW. I think the season's going to be so up and down this year, Kelly, where it's going to be very like you see in the real touring car world. When you get to Croft, the rear wheel drive cars will do brilliant. When you get to Thruxton, the Hondas and the front wheel drive cars tend to do the business there. So I think you're going to have a season like that this year.
Absolutely, and we do hope so. That's exactly what we want. We want chop and change. We don't want it to be. We don't want it to be too Formula-esque.
Andy's gone P2.
Yes, he has. Andy's gone P2. I think he did that a moment or two ago. Yes, as we're on board with John Boy at the moment. I think you're right. I think it's going to be up and down. It's going to favour different people, different weeks. As you say, Donington's next. Now, I love Donington as a track.
Brilliant circuit.
Brilliant circuit. Love it as a track. Can't drive it. Not very good at driving it at all. So no,
I could drive that track in my sleep.
I know the layout. I've been racing it for many years on many different platforms. I'm first generation gamer, so I've spent a lot of hours going round it. Just can't get it. It's the bit after the craners as you start coming up again.
Up in towards McLean's and Coppice.
It's the unsighted ones.
Yeah,
it's the unsighted apexes that mess me up. So the session is complete. Delore is your fastest man, and unless anyone can go quicker,
Andy's
not going to. No, Laney is coming round. Don't know if he's on a quicker lap. He's certainly hanging it out.
Let's stay on board him, see if he gets an improvement to cross line. Only needs to find just over a 10th. But he's coming through the Clark curve now. Final part of the circuit is a pit entrance. Keep it as tight to the wall. Don't drift out wide. As tight to the wall in qualifying. Crosses the line. No improvement.
Yep. No improvement. John Boy is done. What did you see there, Matt?
John Boy was on his roof.
He managed to reset to the pits.
Just before he went into the pits.
I missed that. I didn't see him do it. I was looking down when I was pressing the buttons, I think. So, for your feature race, it looks like this. Delore is your man on pole. A 46.59, 5.39. So not quite as quick as our first qualifying session, but still right up there. Andy in second place, Laney's third, John Boy fourth, and Vigla is fifth as we go to line up. Again, this is feature race, 45 laps. There is a mandatory pit stop. Everyone's got to do it. They don't have to change tyres. They don't have to refuel. But they do have to make that pit stop. The pit window opens at lap 15. Predictions, Matt?
Hard to look past the front three. I'm going to be honest with you. Andy and Delore had a bit of a fight. I mean, to be fair, Andy ran away with race one, but Laney, provided Laney keeps it on the track this time, instead of having his little incident like he did in race one, I think Laney is my shout for this one.
Okay, I'm going to stick with Andy. I think Andy's on form tonight, and I'm going to completely ruin the rest of his evening by backing him.
Yeah. He's ruined many a driver's evening by backing people.
Yeah, absolutely.
So, payback.
Goes around, comes around.
Yeah, exactly. Payback. Many a driver's evening has been spoiled by by Andy in the chat when people have asked for predictions, and I know Fury's granddad in the comments. He'll back me up on this one. He's seen it many a time. Don't back Fury, don't back Fury. He'll be saying in the comments at times when Andy's on commentary, and yeah.
Commentator's curse is so incredibly strong.
The power we have in this box. It's as if we've got a button that just says, we're talking about him, press the button and spin.
Yeah, it's amazing how many times you flick over, because we don't have, for those guys at home, we don't have multiple screens here. We can't see everything that's going on track. So we have to randomly pick with a bit of guesswork and looking at the timing screens to guess what battles are on track. And it's funny how we switch over onto one person and then they drop it right in front of us, which is great telly, but not so good for those people. But we're syncing up now, so we're nearly ready to go. So lead time lights out means that everyone's ready to go. And we're underway, are we? That was a slow start there from Delore. He didn't seem to move at all. But he's still there, and he's there in front. And he's coming down the inside. But Delore looks like he's got it.
Look who's got a good start though, Kelly. Dan in that BMW got off the line like a rocket, shipping up 3 places and already challenging the inside of Andy, and Andy's had to cover that one off late.
Yes, indeed. Dan will be very happy with that. That's the BMW power. We know that they're quick on the start. You mentioned it last race. Didn't quite happen for the BMW drivers last race, but we know that the BMs are quick off the line, just like they are in the real world. And it's Andy and Delore going at it in turn 1, but Daniel's there in third. Trouble, Dan.
Gary as well. Gary's got himself up into P5 from 10th on the grid, so he's gained 5 places as well. Really getting them BMWs off the line, and he's attacking John Boy. It looks in the background. Andy had a bit of a wiggle mid-lap I saw last time around. Laney already in the pit, so did Laney jump the start? Oh yeah, could have done. Yeah, could have had a drive-through for that. We don't know. As Andy's looking down the inside, I was going to swap to Laney, but Andy's gone right up the inside. Tidy move, bit bouncy over the curb, but he's got it done. Covers off the inside line as he comes down to the bottom. Andy's got this one done as he goes a little bit squirrely on the back end as he gets on the power and starts rising back up the hill. Needs to get his head down now and clear as Delore goes a little bit wide. Oh, he's on the grass. He's on the grass. Delore on the grass.
Oh, where did I go? Where did I go there? No,
Delore's really dropping down the order. Dan's up to second. Gary's up to P3. Delore's had an absolute mare coming through clearways, and all of a sudden, Andy now has a bit of a gap to Dan. Gary P3. These BMWs having a much better second race here.
Yes, indeed, and Andy's going to be happy with that, though. He'd rather see a Beamer in his rear view mirrors. I think that's Fury in the background going a little bit wide. He's falling down the order. He went a little bit wide. We missed that. I saw it just in the back of the shot. So Andy still leads on Orthodubs. Dan is in second place in the Beamer, but he's got Gary as close company and John Boy right there as well. So all to play for. It's only lap 3. We've got 45 to do and a pit stop. But Andy needs to get his head down now and get on with it. And the 2 Beamer boys, as looks like John Boy's going to put one on.
John Boy's going to get
Gary.
up the inside.
Yeah, it's difficult once you're on that inside line. As we said before, it's when you go offline here at Brands, it's really difficult, and if you make mistakes, you get punished really hard on this track, as we've seen that exactly happen to Gary right now, as Floyd comes down the inside of it.
Yeah, Gary's going to have the inside line back for the Graham Hill bend here, Kelly. But the BMW is not looking strong. They've got the good start, which is the real strong point of the BMW, but they're not looking strong here. So hopefully they can get back up to speed. As you see, John Boy really starting to reel Dan in a bit now. But Gary's just got to keep that confidence and just got to know that he can defend here like mad.
Well, traditionally in the British Touring Car Championship, we found that the rear-wheel drive, especially the BMWs, find that they're slower to warm their tyres than the front-wheel drive cars. But when they do warm their tyres, they're a force to be reckoned with. There's a couple of guys go wide, but no real harm done, just losing places as they go out onto the gravel. But as I was saying, the BMs are just struggling, aren't they, for pace? John Boy's looking down the inside of Dan now. I think he's going to get that one done.
Done.
He has. As
Dan's run wide. That'll be a slowdown.
Yeah, and Gary's going to be in there as well with this one. Yeah, Gary hassling the back of John Boy. Daniel trying to recover. And he's got himself a penalty, as Exmart and WSRJ has got one as well. John Boy hasn't yet, but nor has Dan, so he must have managed to slow that down. But the Beamer's just going backwards a little bit again now, fighting amongst themselves. As I said, in the real world, the BMWs take a minute or two to bring their tyres up to temperature.
And that's the crucial thing I noticed last season, especially when the BMWs get the tyres up to temperature, the car is as good as any to keep going. The problem is it's how long it takes to get up to temperature.
Yes, indeed. Arguably, in the real world, the best car on the grid, quickest car on the grid. Certainly, the Turkington one seemed to be a huge contender, and possibly definitely one of the best cars on the grid for sure. So we'll see how this whole thing pans out. These BMWs are more difficult to drive. They sound lovely, mind. If you drive them, they do sound absolutely epic. But I found, and I don't know how much time you've spent in these, Matt, I found them really hard to turn in.
BMWs?
Sorry?
The BMW?
Yeah,
I love the BMW. Yeah. Used to race the BMW in a previous league, in a touring car league. Used to race the BMW.
Right. So, and have you driven the Megane as well?
Driven the Megane, like the Megane. The Megane's a solid all-round car. It tipped me the BMW because of its starts and because of its power out of the corner. I think it's races like Brands Hatch here, where for people like Dan and Gary, they've just got to put up and shut up with what the results they get, do the best job they
damage
can,
limitation.
And damage limitation. If they have a poor race, let's not worry about it. Go to the next one. As Gary's got a heck of a run over Dan here as they come down the start straight and down towards Paddock Hill Bend. And the two BMWs here really flying. Oh, is his job done? Gary's got. I tell you what, he's done well to hold on to that.
Good driving, Gary.
He's not just done well to hold on to that. He's actually denied Dan an overtaking opportunity as he was sideways coming through the corner, blocking the road off.
Yeah, yes, indeed. That was a proper Tokyo drift. That one. That was, that was epic, Gary. That was. We'll have some more of that driving. That was really good. We enjoyed that. Got it properly sideways and managed to keep it going forward. All a bit Schumacher-esque. That was. Great driving there from Gary. But you're quite right. The Beamers are just going to have to deal with their weak tracks and capitalise on their strong ones for sure. As I was saying, I mean, the time that I've spent trying to drive these cars, I say trying, I found the BM really hesitant on its turning. I couldn't get the front end to go into the corners like the front wheel drive cars do, and for obvious reasons they're as Gary's gone wide,
very
and Dan's
wide,
gone back down the inside.
Yeah,
that
very
like
wide.
He gave it a slowdown or something, didn't it?
It was a very strange one. It did look like it gave him a slowdown, but very, very strange one to see Gary make that kind of a mistake. Gary's back up the inside then. They've got Delore on the back of them. So the BMWs, I mean, Dan's been caught just as much as Gary here by Delore and the rest of the Renault Megane pack. But for Gary here, just made a couple of mistakes this lap that's costing him a bit of time. And the time that when he got past Dan, he could have used to pull away. He's not been able to do so at the moment.
Yes, absolutely right. And so the top three, Daniel's only just in front of Gary. So it's basically Andy's out front. He's gapped John Boy now by about 3.5 seconds. Then you come back another 3 seconds or so to this group, and then that's everybody else in third place at the moment. Covered right the way down to Lodder. They're all within a second of each other.
Yeah.
And as you can see them all coming round. The two Beamers in front of this group.
I get the feeling
as Gary goes wide.
Yeah, Gary went very wide there, and that's Vliegek having a good run at him. I was just about to say, as that was happening there, I get the feeling that Gary's got the quicker BMW under him over him and Dan at the moment, because he's caught up to Dan very quickly again until he again made another mistake.
We've talked about this time and time again. Gary is as Daniel drops it, he managed to hold on to it. Has he held on to it? No, he hasn't. He's gone up on the grass. He's kept it going in a straight line, which is one thing, but he's lost 2 places there. Unfortunate for Dan. That was just in Paddock Hill Bend. It was just
Gary. He's just hit Graham Hill curve too hard there, and that has caused the rear to just step out. Easy to defend this, Gary. You haven't got to push it. You haven't got the pace of John Boy and Andy in front. Hang on, damage imitation. Try and do what Fury did race 1. It's Vliegek. Dan's off. Dan was off. And now he's tapping the back of Nick the Villa. Not Nick the Villa. Nick the Villa. And he's into the gravel. Luckily, Nick de Villiers kept it pointing forward. But Gary here, he can defend like Fury defended race 1, but he just seems to be pushing too hard. And over at Sim Play, this is something I see Gary do a lot of, and you commentate with me on a Thursday night. Gary at times can be overcritical of overdriving the car.
We've talked about this time and time again. You're quite right. And Andy's quick. Gary is a very quick boy. I mean, very quick. And he's always likes these kind of Beamers and rear-wheel drive cars, and he goes well in them with lots of pace. But we still keep seeing these mistakes, don't we?
There's another one. There's another one.
He pulls another one, and we feel that he just overdrives the car from time to time. He's got pace. We know he's good. We know he's quick. Almost like he just needs, just a.
What Gary's got to do here,
down.
We know the BMW's not the best car, so what he's got to do here is just drive it, defend your line, drive your race as normal. You haven't got to push too hard for that pace. The pace will come when you get into a rhythm. Calm yourself down. 45 lap race, long race really. Defend your. We saw from Fury in race 1 how easy it is to defend around here. Fury did it absolutely brilliantly. Gary can do it as good, if not a bit better than Fury. Just keep it calm. Drive your race. Keep it calm. Defend your line. You know what you're doing, Gary. And it's just silly mistakes that cost him championships.
Yes, indeed. And hey, listen to us talking a good race. It's one thing to be sat on the sidelines doing it. It's quite another to be in the car doing it. But that is exactly what Gary needs to do. He needs to just be a little bit calm, just defend his line, hit his braking points, hit his apexes, and just keep the guys behind him. He's in a podium position right now. These are going to be points that are going to be very useful later in the season.
Yeah, exactly.
And I was just looking at all the red dots there on the. For those of you at home that are maybe not only just joined. Oh, Gary has another mistake. Delore gets up the inside. He's going to make that one stick this time, isn't he? It's
costing him too much, and Delore's got that run down towards Paddock Hill Bend, and he'll have the inside line for Paddock Hill. Provided he can make Paddock Hill stick, Gary will not be able to come back at him into Druids, because Gary, while he's on the outside line, will be forced out wide, although Gary's going to try and use tactics here, and has done that to perfection.
Yes, indeed. Lovely bit of switchback. Manages, easy. But Delore's down the inside again.
Yeah, but he's managed to do it because he's on the inside for Graham Hill. Gary there, very smart driving. Use your head. Place the car where you need to place the car, and this is the results you'll get.
Yes, indeed. Any more driver coaching you need, you can contact me or Matt for private sessions. I don't know, £60, £70 an hour.
£60-70 an hour.
Yeah, we'll look after you, and you'll benefit from the results.
Yeah, look at Gary.
Absolutely. Look at Gary. Yeah, he's gone up a place.
I know, but
the place that he was actually in.
Great driving from Gary there. He got that switch back at Paddock Hill Bend. He knew what he had to do.
Perfectly.
You'll see many a driver try and hang around the outside of Paddock Hill. Gary did it brilliantly there. Just drop back a little bit, lift off the throttle maybe, brake a bit earlier, get that cut back, make sure you're on the inside up to Druids. Even if then Delore comes back at him on the inside of the exit to Druids, that's fine, because it's a short run to Graham Hill and you've got the inside line again.
Yes, indeed. And I was just watching whoever that was in the background being all over the place.
I think that was WSR.
It might have been, It looked like he was warming his tyres. He was all over the shop. But Delore hasn't given this one up. He knows that Andy's vulnerable in certain places, and just sitting there waiting for that mistake. Just waiting for it to come. Who have we lost? Someone's gone backwards.
We've lost Laney? A driver. Laney's 10th with a time penalty.
John Boy's
P11. He's in the pits.
Who was being chased? Who was chasing?
Oh, Gary's round.
Gary's dropped it. Oh, Gary.
Now, did he get a tap off of Delore, or did he lose it on his own? Hard to tell from that camera angle, but he's lost 3 places. Can't figure out who we've lost at the moment. But yeah, what a shame.
It was chasing Andy. It was
Andy's in the pits. Delore was chasing Andy. No, John Boy. John Boy's pitted though, so that's why John Boy's 12th. John Boy's 12th. He's pitted. Andy's in the pits now. I cannot, for love nor money, think of who we've lost.
Let me run through the.
Fury's games crashed. Fury's granddad's just put in the chat. Fury's games crashed. So we've lost Fury from this race. That was Nick de Villa in the gravel trap there, and that's allowed Exmort through. And did Gary get the run up the inside? No, but yes. Barging, door to door, wheel to wheel.
Has Andy just gone?
Andy's pitted. Yeah.
Andy's just pitted. Right. Okay, that makes sense. Well, I've been looking at my clipboard, because I have a clipboard now, not because I couldn't find myself a Toy Story notepad, so I have a clipboard, being all official like. While I was looking down at that, Andy must have pitted at that moment. So again, look at this middle pack again. Look, WSRJ, Laney, Dan, Lodder, Nick de Villa.
Laney's in the pits. What a poor start to the season for Laney. He had the incident race one. He drove a great comeback race to get third. He's got the drive-through penalty early doors here. He's now in the pits at the moment, back to the back of the field. It's just not been Laney's opening race of the season.
No, indeed, you're quite right. But it's the first race of the season, first meeting of the season. Long way to go. So hopefully he can. We know Laney's quick. He's shown so much form last season. As Nick de Villa goes up the inside of Gary, can't quite make it stick. He was on the inside line. Look at that Beamer swirling around all over the place, isn't it?
Very, very twitchy
that
at
is
the
a
minute.
handful.
It is a handful. He's got to get hold of this BMW. The BMW seems better in the summer months when the track temps are a bit higher, and obviously we're later in the day here as well here at Brands Hatch, so the track temps would have just dropped a bit from race one. Maybe Gary's played with his tyre pressures a little bit and it's a bit more wiggly now. You see that rear just wanting to step out there. Gary seemed so late on the brakes there as well to catch up to the back of Exmart. Maybe he's just got to brake a little bit earlier and try and get that traction out the corner.
It's Gary's got speed like you wouldn't believe, but every corner looks like an adventure, doesn't it? Every single one. Look, as Nick de Villa nearly did that move last time round. Again, I was saying that it was a Matt Neal favourite, that one. And as Nick de Villa comes into the pits.
Now you see, I don't mind that move from Gary there. He's gone a bit wide. Now actually, if you actually have the racing line on, you can actually see that the racing line actually is a bit of a wider line away from the curb. Into that corner, the line that Gary took, and Nick de Villa, like you say, Matt Neal-esque, if you can keep it tight and keep it pinned,
does you well.
You've got a good run onto the start straight down towards Paddock Hill. But like Nick de Villa there, he just couldn't. He had to get off the throttle because he couldn't get the car, keep it turned in. That car would have naturally slid out wide and would have tapped the rear of Gary. So ultimately, he had to get off the power to get out of that one and not get into trouble. Lodder looks like he's got a bit of a slowdown penalty.
Slowdown, isn't it?
He's pulled well off the back of Dan there, and Dan chasing down the other BMW and the adventurous Gary 131 once again here.
Yes, indeed, and look how Dan's come back. He was nudged, pushed, jumped, whatever, earlier in the race, and was Dan. And we've had a couple of guys pitted. But Dan was back up behind Gary, so the Beamers seem to be very closely matched in this race, because they both had their little incidents and their little adventures, and they still seem to be really close to each other. We'll see how they get on after the pits. As I say, there's a few people who've pitted already, so we'll see how they get on after the pit stops. But again, if you're new to this and it's your first time, then please do like. Although saying that, we've got 20 watches and 19 likes, so that'll make Andy and Dan really, really happy, because that's the kind of stuff that turns them on. But if you look, for those of you who've watched before, if you look up on your timing screens on your left hand side, you'll see that some of the race drivers have got red dots by the side of them. This means that they've got.
Dan got a bit of a twitch going out to Paddock Hill and nearly ended up in the gravel trap. You've also got rid of the driver's standings.
I know. I'm just,
there we go. We're back. Dan had a bit of a wiggle, nearly ended up in the gravel trap.
There you go. The red dots on your timing screen means that particular driver has a penalty. Now, I've just brought up on your screen in front of you. You should be able to see the penalties on the right-hand side. So Delore's got 2 seconds already. Exmart 7 seconds. 5 seconds for Vliegler. 5 for Nick de Villa, Laney. All these. This is mostly track limits. We would say on this. No, don't do that. Track limits being
again.
Oh yeah, look.
Dan's struggling through Paddock Hill, and I said earlier on
he is.
in this second race, Kelly, that Gary to me has got the better BMW underneath him in this second race, and Dan now 2 laps in a row has just had a bit of a wiggle mid corner coming through Paddock Hill, and has lost the car out wide. That will definitely be a slow down for Vliegek.
Slow down.
Although he's already
it
got
will
time
be.
penalties to his name, and he doesn't look like he's going to slow down, so he's probably going to add a couple more
Probably just
penalties to his
taking
name here. Although he's
gonna lose it.
very, very wide, so he may get that slow down pop off his screen as he's slowing all the way down there. Gary has got past Xmart up into second place, so I don't know if Xmart had a problem, but here is Vli down in P6. I think the last of the non-pitted runners so far. I think Andy Down are the cars that have pitted. From Vliegek up to Delory are the guys that haven't pitted as of yet. And Vliegek is really chucking that car into the corner, getting that backhand stepping out.
Yes, indeed. And the backhand will step out on these Megans, but you can usually hold on to it. So if you can slide it between the curbs, as it were, you get on all right with it. But it's very, very loose on the back end. This Megane, very loose. And this is the best one of the cars. As we see,
all over the curb, and it just gets a bit of a tank slapper. He's done well to keep it going, to be fair, without it going round. But
absolutely. And as you said earlier on, Matt, this game only offers us up 3 cars, 4 cars, 3 cars,
4 if you have the DLC.
Right, yeah. The only offers us up the 4 cars, and apart from the Beamer, I mean, the Megane's not a classic touring car in my opinion.
No.
Not at all, nothing like it. But the BMW is. But the Megane is the best car, the best all-rounder, and the most drivable. As we see, that was Andy. Went right round. Went right round Fly. He's driving a little bit different style to Vliegek here. So the Megane is by far the best car to drive on this particular game, on this platform. But in real life, it's it's a non-starter as a touring car, really. Do you know what I mean?
You've got the Mercedes, which we've obviously seen in recent years with Aidan Moffat and
which has been okay. And who else had it?
Adam Morgan with the Mac Tools sponsorship.
Yeah.
Obviously, you've got your Astra, which is the DLC, which we know is Power Maxed. They've ran that for the last couple of years. Some weirdo Jason Plato drives that car. We don't need to mention him. And then the BMW. Obviously, it's not the 3 Series, it's not the 1 Series that we've seen in the touring cars, but is pretty much as you would see it in the touring cars. Quick off the start, takes a while to heat its tyres up, and when it does, it's a blaming good car. What I do think that if Project Cars should have had was, maybe a Honda, maybe a no, I don't mean it because of Matt Neal, but if you'd have took the Civic in there, or the old VW Passat, the old MG that they used to run when MG came back into it all them years ago when Plato driven it.
Say it, Leon.
Yeah, say it, Leon. You've got the Focus that's been in there with Motorbase for the past how many seasons now. I think Project Cars missed a thing with the touring cars, and I blame that solely on the World Touring Cars not having much choice in their category, with Project Cars sort of maybe looking at that rather than the British touring cars. Is that where they've sort of lied in just a handful of categories? You look at the GT3 category, there's about 17 car choices on Project Cars in the GT3s. The GTs have about 5 or 6 cars to choose from in there. You've got 3, and then if you buy the DLC, a 4th one. And I think that you could have had a Civic, a Passat, the Focus that we've had in the last couple of years, the MG that we had in the last couple of years. You all them that you could have just thrown on there, whether it was DLC or when you purchased the game, and it would have made the touring car grid on the game a lot better for my personally.
Well, it's about time. As Dan goes sideways, is he going to lose it now?
He's lost it. He's been tapped round by Lauder.
Yes, now.
Yeah.
I think Lauder helped him to the last of it. Dan seemed to have it all all under control. He almost had his arm on the window and was looking cool. Is he going to go for the pit? He's going to pit. Might have been a smart move that, just to get into the pits while he was already slow. So Daniel goes into the pits after that great demonstration of how to drift. I think Lauder was just in the wrong place at the wrong time.
Wrong place, wrong time. Nothing malicious in that one. Dan had lost the car as Lauder was approaching him, and Lauder's basically just finished the job off that Dan had started.
Absolutely, and I was going to say we're waiting for Slightly Mad or Codemasters or somebody like that to do a dedicated British touring car. Dedicated touring car. Is it next year?
Next year.
Oh, get on!
Next
I
year.
miss the old.
And for the viewers of Motive, if anybody has NASCAR Heat 4, let me know, because as far as I'm led to believe, the people who made NASCAR Heat 4 for the in the touring car game next year, and so I'm led to believe NASCAR Heat 4 is quite good.
Right,
so,
I've never no experience of it, so I don't know.
No experience of it because NASCAR doesn't interest me. But the developers of that game apparently hit the nail on the head with it, and it's quite a good game in terms of how NASCAR is in real life. So if that is the case,
right, yeah,
and they nail the British touring car game, brilliant. And I tell you what, if the British touring car game gets the support packages, so you can race the Formula Fords, the Minis, the Ginettas, the GT4s, the Porsche Carrera Cup, as well as the touring cars. What a game! What a game that will be!
Happy days.
Yeah.
With all, just imagine it with all the British tracks.
Matt Neal on a game.
Who?
Yeah, exactly.
Well, nothing's ever perfect.
Do you know when the last touring car dedicated British touring car game was released?
Oh, I don't know when it. Oh God, let me think. Would have been on the PS2.
Yeah,
I would have thought.
PlayStation 1.
And was it not PS2?
No, PlayStation 1. I've got the copy of it sat on my desk right next to me now.
Well, it'd be TOCA 2, wouldn't it?
TOCA 2,
car
yeah.
driver.
TOCA
Race
2.
car driver or something like that. Yeah.
What a game. 99.
99.
22 years ago. So by the time that comes out, that game will be 23 years old. I'm 28, so I'd have got that game pretty much when it came out as well. So I'd have been about 5 or 6. And I tell you what. Honda Accord, Volvo S40, Renault Laguna, they were the cars to be on that game. Nissan Primera, that was the car to be in that.
Yeah, that was a good touring car.
Do you know the best thing about it? You'd go in the Renault Laguna, you'd kick Plato out the seat, Matt Duffin's here, and who's your teammate? None other than the legendary Alain Menu.
Alain Menu.
Get in there.
I've actually, me and Daniel was a very small boy at the time, I've got a picture of him, sat in that actual car, the Renault Megane.
Yes, my dad's got one of me as well. Yep, dad's got one of me sat in the
Laguna.
The Laguna, the green Nescafe Laguna. I've got a picture of me sat in that one as well, yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. So it was at our local Renault dealership.
Brilliant.
Back in the day.
Do you know what else I found out the other day? I was sorting the wardrobe out, and I found in the bottom of the wardrobe, I found a Nissan Primera flag. Signed by David Leslie and Anthony Reid, the drivers from back in the day.
Okay, you want that? On my toolbox at work,
yeah.
I've got the Audi Motorsport Program stickers from 1997. Frank Bieler.
Is it John Bincliffe?
Bincliffe? Yeah, could have been. Yeah, I've got all the stickers from
Beautiful.
When I went to that race at Thruxton, stuck all over my toolbox.
Do you know what stuck to the side of my PC?
Go on.
Vintage stickers. So you remember the blue and yellow Renault Laguna of Alain Menu and Jason Plato?
Yeah.
Got that one. I've got Rickard Rydell's S40, James Thompson's Honda Accord. Italian Alfa Romeo car. Who was the driver? Won the championship. Gabriele Tarquini. His car stuck on the side. That's all stuck on the side of my PC tower.
There you go.
Beautiful cars.
I'd say a lot of mine are on me toolbox at work.
Just looking at some of the comments, Kelly. Lightblade can't wait for the Mtcc game. They're using the R Factor 2 engine. So there you go. Anybody who plays R Factor 2 on the PC, that's the engine they're using. Plato says Lightblade. Boo, Plato. Played TOCA 2 on a Logitech GT4. Yeah, they are the old days. The good old days, eh? I remember playing TOCA 2 with my brother and his friends. 4-player split screen. You got a quarter of the screen itself. Little tiny box in the top left-hand corner, and there's you all on mouse and keyboard. Oh, what they were the days!
I tell you what, the worrying thing is Matt, is probably when you when that game was out, TOCA 2. I was probably your age when that came out. That was that's the kind of worrying thing. And played it for hours and hours and hours. And I built Daniel his first sim rig when we had that game, right? Which was I can't remember what steering wheel and pedals we had, but it was an MDF box with an old school chair, with the legs broken off, right? And I made the seat adjustable so I could play it as well as him. And I built that in his bedroom. Yeah, Daniel will tell you all about it. It's,
there was many a day when I'd come home from school, my dad would be finishing work, and you could play it online on the PC. Only through LAN, only through people in the house, not, I remember racing my dad around many a track on that. That and Colin McRae Rally 2 was a game we used to have as well on the
Rally
PC.
2, that was that was a good one. I had that on PlayStation as well.
Great bit, Lightblade in the chat, great bit of Murray Walker commentary, and it's Tarquini, when he rolled it at not kill. And he jumped out of that Alfa Romeo at not kill. It's all died down a bit here. I haven't seen a brand since pit stops. It's died down a bit on track, hasn't it?
Yeah, I was noticing also that there's only 3 people on the on the grid who haven't got a penalty.
Yeah, well done, John Boylodder and Unorthodox, for keeping it nice and clean and within the track limits. Do you know something that made me laugh? I was speaking with Gary Friday night. Me and Gary both race Motive Racing's F1 League, and Gary went, "I don't know why people get so many time penalties. I never really take track limits." Well, Gary, mate, you've got a time penalty, so unless you've got 10 seconds for speeding in the pit lane, you've taken the track limits, buddy. Careful what you say in the future, because it will come round and bite you on the bottom. But Gary's adventurous BMW back down in P11 after his pit stop, so work to do from there. And he's back up into second, 7 seconds off the back of Delore with Xmart third. John Boy fourth.
Delore hasn't pitted yet, has he?
No, I've not seen him in the pits. I've not seen Xmart in the pits neither, I don't believe. So interesting race developing. We're on lap 38 of 35. Delore is now in the pits, as we said that.
Yes, indeed, you're quite right.
Dan again, paddock kill.
Good to hold on to it again, though. To be fair,
but it's mid corner. He seems to get an awful bit of a twitch mid corner, even if it's just slightly, and that'll send him out wide, and he's unsettled in the car coming through Paddock Hill. Speaking of Tokatu, do you remember there was a bit of a bug on Paddock Hill? I don't know if you remember this. If you come out down the dip of Paddock Hill on Tokatu, it was as if the car would hit the bump where it goes back uphill. Yeah. And it'd send you right into the wall. You'd sort of hit this bump and it had unsettle the car, and because of the physics of games back then aren't what we have today in front of us, you'd hit this bump. So unless you went wide onto the AstroTurf curb, if you was in the middle of the road overtaking somebody, you'd hit this bump and it'd send you off. Bugger was that part of Brands Hatch Indy. I remember that one. As
was gaming back then.
But you know what though? I can play Tokatu on my old PS3. It's backwards compatible. And every time I got it out for my 9-year-old son, this is when he was about 7 years old, and they sat there and all he said was, "Dad, why do the trees just disappear?" And I went, "Mate, this is how we played games back in the day." I said, and I played games older than this on my old Sega Mega Drive. You think you've got all your beautiful graphics nowadays? The trees disappearing. That was a revelation to have trees on a game. When I was a kid.
The first game I ever raced was a very primitive version of Formula One. Or actually, I go back as far as Outrun in the arcades. And Outrun was like a driving a Ferrari in a Californian race or something. It was horrendous, absolutely horrendous. So incredibly bad, so slow, the graphics, so on and so forth. But I keep spouting off that I'm a first generation gamer. I started my gaming on a ZX81. Those of you who have no idea what I'm talking about, Google it. Games. I remember when the Mega Drive came out, and the SNES and the Mega Drive, and I remember watching the first person. A friend of mine had it, and they were playing Sonic the Hedgehog, and I was just blown away by how incredibly good Sonic the Hedgehog was, how fast it was, how fluid it was. And
do you remember the old Sega Mega Drive when the game wouldn't work? You'd take the cartridge out, give it a bit of a blow in the cartridge, blow inside the Sega Mega Drive, back in, on.
Give it a good old tap on top, make sure it's in there. Do you know what I mean? And away you go. And the SNES was front loading, as I remember. I was never a Nintendo man. I was more of a Sega man, and then moved on to being a PlayStation. When the PlayStation came out, I thought it was revolutionary and just loved it, absolutely loved it. I've still got an original boxed here. I think it's a brilliant machine. The PlayStation was and still is a brilliant machine. Yes.
Oh,
yes,
who's
indeed.
that in the pit lane? X-Mark then in the pits, releasing John Boy up into P2. And look at that, Gary's being lapped again then. As we're coming to the end of this race, lap 43, Andy's on.
Yeah, look at these BMWs now. They're, again, Gary and Dan, running 10th and 11th. They were right at the sharp end at the beginning of this race, and now they've just trundled backwards all the way through the field.
Brands hasn't been kind to them. Brands has not been kind to them.
Not at all.
X-Mark's going to get out of the pits well clear of them. So he's not in any worry of losing out even to... there's WSR, so he may lose out WSR, and he does so. He should stay in front of Liga, who's just behind, but he's over 10 seconds clear of Dan. It's been great to Andy.
Yes. Is this going to be a clean sweep for Andy this evening? He was...
who's that in the gravel?
Is someone in blue.
Is that Putney? Putney?
Yeah, it could be. Could be. No, it's not. No.
Oh, it's Lee.
Oh, it's Fly. Yeah.
Fly.
And he's not looking like he's going anywhere anytime quick.
No, and he's allowed Gary and Unorthodox to get up another position. He could allow Putney up one more place as well.
Yeah, we would be throwing a safety car if we had one.
Oh, 100% a safety car at the end of Paddock Hill Bend. Gary, though, coming into the final couple of corners, into Clearways and Clark Curve. He's about to put a lap on another car. I think that's Lauder. He's about to lap, but he'll start the final lap, Kelly. What a start to the season.
I was going to say, I mean, this is going to be a clean sweep, isn't it? This is going to be, what do they call it? This is going to be pole position and race win. Pole position, race win. I don't know if he's got the fastest lap. We'll see at the end, but this is the kind of start that Andy wanted to his campaign. Certainly full marks on the racetrack. As he comes around, he's only got a few more corners to do. 15-second lap over John. 15-second gap over John Boy. We'll get there in a minute. It's getting late. And as you see, just coming round the last turn and weaving across the track. He's got time to do it this time for sure. Across the line, 2 for 2 for Andy, championship leader.
Great start.
Great stuff indeed.
And this is
John
the thing
Boy
now,
comes in.
momentum he's got to build from this next week at Donington. Like I said, we could see Dan and Gary back on the pace at Donington, but Andy's now, he says, 4 wins, 5 wins last year. He's really got to build on that momentum. John Boy's going to come home second with Delore closely followed and Laney closely followed third and fourth. But look at that, at the end of the race, only 2 drivers with without a time penalty.
Yeah. This is going to trundle the order for sure. We'll see who ends up where after the time penalties. But it's going to be Nick Davila for 5th place. And WSRJ will be your man in 6th. X-Mark just behind where the
X-Mark gets 6th, so WSR, so time penalties. Vlee is still buried in the gravel trap.
Yeah, I don't know what happened to him. I don't know if he's left or what, but there you go. Andy's your man for round 1 of the season. Race win or 2 race wins this evening, even with a 6-second penalty there. John Boy still obviously in the hunt. This is round 1, so it's all to play for. But where he needs to be in 2nd place, he's looking to make a championship. Delore, your man coming up from Tier 2, good outing for him, comes 3rd. Laney, we expected better, I think, from Laney. Just quite the meeting.
Just one of them meetings, Kelly, where he had the incident race 1, drive through race 2. It's a meeting that it's like, Brands Hatch is done now. We've got the extra 2 races on the calendar this season. I can get Brands Indy out the way. Let's look to Donny next week.
Yes, indeed. So let's do exactly that. And it will be Donington Park next week, next Sunday on the touring cars here at Motive. Final words, Matt?
Final words. Andy, top job. What a drive from Andy. It's been brilliant. Delore, John Boy, Laney, top stuff from them guys as well in this championship. Work to do, BMWs, the 2 of them. Not the night for the BMW drivers. And like you said earlier, Kelly, great start off the line in race 2. Got up to the front, 2nd and 3rd at one stage of this race. And look at him, 9th and 10th, well off the pace. In fact, a lap down on the leader, Andy. So them BMWs, they've got to come up with something in a week's time at Donington Park. The track may be a bit more kinder to them around Donington Park. And I know Gary's a big lover of Donington. Dan, you've said his as well. So let's see what happens next week. But Andy has the start that he'd have wanted. What a dream start for him.
Yes, indeed. I was just wrapping that up, but I heard Andy's voice in the background. Are you with us in the chat here? With us on the stream here, Andy?
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, let's have a few words then. What a start for the season for you. Clean sweep for you. You were the man, and nobody touched you tonight. You've got to be happy with that.
Couldn't be more chuffed with how that whole evening went, to be honest. The first race was a little bit hairy at the end. I had the lead for about 5 seconds and then made a mistake coming through the second to last corner. Delore almost got me, and then managed to put out a 2-second gap at the end of the first race. Second race wasn't as seamless as it might have looked on the stream, because I had that 6-second penalty actually about halfway through the race. I got 4 seconds all in one go at one point. And so it was a little bit squeaky bum time, because actually John Boy was within about 2 seconds of me, and him were sort of coming through the pack. We'd both been in the pits and we were making our way back through past some of the guys who hadn't been into the pits. And honestly, I was quite worried, because that gap was staying at around 2 or 3 seconds for a lot of laps. And then I think John Boy got a little bit stuck behind Xmart then came into the pits, but John Boy lost a lot of time somewhere out there towards the end of the race. So I can count myself lucky there that he ran into a few problems, because I think otherwise he would have stayed within that 6-second window and he would have had the win. So
So tell me, Andy, we know you're a busy man, one of the main guys here at Motive, and you race many championships and do lots and lots behind the scene, commentate, so on and so forth. Tell me, you've got to be practicing touring car through the week now, haven't you? You've got a real shot at this championship this time, and I know you said you want this one. 4 wins last season, couldn't manage to put a championship together. This has got to be the dream start. You've got to be practicing touring car through the week, have you not?
Well, one thing I've said is that since I stopped practicing for races, or stopped racing throughout the week, should I say, I still practice. I still do a little bit of running before the races, but I don't race or do public lobbies throughout the week, because I find that if I let all my energy kind of build up over the week, and then once come race day, it helps a lot to bring the best performance. I know it sounds really technical, and it's just a game at the end of the day, but seriously, it makes a difference. I've tried this out, and it makes a difference. I promise. If you the less racing you do throughout the week, the less fun lobbies you participate in, the better you drive on when it actually comes to race day.
I can actually vouch for that, because I only do time trial on a Friday for Motives F1, and then on the night, I think my lowest finish of the season 6th, and I think I had quite a few fourths and podiums. So.
All right, Matt, don't rub in.
I'm sorry, Dan. I knew you was there listening, and I know you were behind me in the championship. But I have to back up what Andy says. Unless you're in an online lobby with the guys that you're in the league with, I think when you're in a public online lobby, it can just all go to pot.
I get what you guys are saying. I get what you guys are saying, and I get how you're saying it, and especially when you drive multiple different cars throughout the week. Yes, then I can see where you're going. But the old thing, practice makes perfect. I suppose it depends how much you do, really, doesn't it? Again,
you can overdo it.
You can overdo it, absolutely. And we're joined here now by Dan, and I was trying to wrap the show up, but Dan's here now.
Just wrap it up, mate. Just wrap it up.
No, we want to talk BMW. We want to talk BMW. We were talking on the stream, Dan, that you and Gary were in a very strong position at the beginning of the race. Both of you had a really cracking start, but just seemed to slip backwards and backwards. Was it really as bad as it looked out there in the Beamers?
No, I just can't drive.
Oh, fair one. Well, you and Gary both said,
I can back up that statement as well, Kelly.
Oh dear. Okay.
I chose the wrong setup. I just basically chose the wrong setup. That one I went stable. It was so much understeer. It was just
stable.
Unreal. And then
wow, that did not look stable. That did not look stable, especially coming through Paddock Hill. Wow.
Yeah.
It was too stable. It's so much. I had so much understeer. I'd rather have oversteer than understeer in this thing, because this just doesn't turn. But hey ho, we got to wrap this up, guys. Come on, we're running out of time.
Oh, okay. Sorry about that. Our race director is just pushing us along and ending the show. I feel like Dermot O'Leary being told in the ear to shut up and get on with it. So let's wrap it up. Round 1 done. Come back, join us next week for round 2 of the Mtcc. We'll certainly be here. Matt will be here. All the guys will be here. So much more racing on Motive this week. Get involved. subscribe to the YouTube channel, press the like button, go on the website, Facebook like, Instagram likes, do all that kind of stuff in a week. Check out the streams. If you're doing nothing as well, we'd love to see you over on Simplay on Wednesday and Thursday nights as well. Guys, again, very quickly, let's have your very final words, Matt.
Top job from everybody, especially Andy tonight. The MW's work to do. Bring on Donington Park.
Brilliant. Andy, very quickly.
Yeah, make sure you tune in for the next one, guys, because it's going to be good.
Daniel.
Yeah. BMWs are slow. But make sure you tune in tomorrow night for the Porsche Cup on ACC. Make sure you join in for that. But from myself, all the guys from the Touring Car Championship.
What happened to quick word? What happened to a couple of words?
We are definitely going in a minute, guys, we promise.
Yeah, we are going. Ladies and gentlemen. All right, shut up, a lot of you. I'm supposed to be leading this one. Get out. Thank you, everyone, for tuning in. See you soon. Thank you. Love, life, and laughter. Take care of yourselves. Good night. Thank you.
Great stuff, guys. Right, hold it. One sec. There we go. We're off.
I'm all right to stop. I'm all right to stop my stream. Yeah. Yep.